you guys enjoyed that video very much, and I've been flooded with disturbing doc recommendations. So I thought, hey, it's time. Tell Me Who I Am is a complicated mash of emotions. I was expecting sadness, which I got. My eyes got watery. Not one tear fell out, because fuck I look like. Just inhaled that shit via iris. But I noticed I was often putting myself in the shoes of our narrators and relating their struggles to my life during my watch, which rarely happens for me. But it just got me that much more involved in the story. I'll give you a blurb here. I do recommend this doc. I have one tiny complaint, and it is disturbing, and it belongs on this list. Alex gets into a motorcycle accident and loses his memory. I believe he's just 18 at the time, and once he wakes from his coma, everything and everyone is foreign to him, except his twin brother, Marcus. And we move from there. I will now begin to spoil. You've been warned. So I love the way they broke this doc up into 3 acts. In the first act, we focus on Alex, what it was like awaking from his coma, how strange the world was to him. He had the mind of a child. He had to relearn damn near everything. And not just people's names and locations, it was, hey, Alex, this is how you make toast. The fact that he somehow, and only—
Let's roll. Smoke. Flashbang. Let's show them who we are. Move it. Throwing smoke. Fire.
flashbang.
Laying down smoke. Throwing fire. Throwing smoke.
Molotov.
Grenade out. Deploying flashbang. Throwing flashbang. Flashbang. Good stuff.
Let's go.
Smoke. Incendiary out.
Laying down smoke.
Throwing a grenade. Throwing smoke.
Grenade.
Throwing flashbang. Grenade out.
Deploying flashbang. Let's go, people.
Smoke. Laying down
Throwing
smoke.
smoke.
Deploying
Throwing
flashbang.
flashbang.
Grenade.
Throwing a grenade.
Throwing a grenade. Incendiary out.
Flashbang. Throwing flashbang. Throwing fire.
Throwing flashbang.
Flashbang.
Counter-terrorists win.
All right.
These fellows are gonna regret waking up this morning.
Smoke.
Smoke.
Deploying flashbang.
Deploying flashbang. Throwing fire. Throwing fire. Grenade out.
Throwing flashbang.
Throwing smoke. Defusing. Counter-terrorists win. We're in the clear, lads. Go, go, go. Smoke.
Laying down smoke.
Throwing fire. Grenade out. Laying down smoke.
Molotov.
Counter-terrorists win. Let's move out.
Throwing smoke.
Laying down smoke. Throwing fire. Grenade out.
Grenade out.
Flashbang.
Fucking monkey one taps me.
Go, go, go! I'm throwing smoke. Flashback.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Counter-terrorists win.
Fucking monkey that really shots us. Fucking giddy fucking monkey taps us.
We must win. Throwing smoke. Throwing a flashback. I am planting the bomb. Bomb has been planted. We are terrorists win. Let's go. Smoke. Smoke. Flashback. Flashback. I'm throwing flashback. so that we may be free. I'm throwing smoke. Throw in the flashbang. I'm throwing a flashbang. I'm throwing flashbang. Flashbang. Smoke. 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 Throwing smoke. Throwing fire. Throwing the flashbang. Activating the bomb. I'm throwing a grenade. Terrorists win. You have to.
Only remembered Marcus is remarkable. But he, along with Marcus, guide us through this period of trying to adjust and become himself again. And Marcus obviously plays a pivotal role because, sure, Alex's mom can talk his ear off and tell him about his own life, but I don't know you. I know my brother, so that's all I trust right now. And I'm letting him fill in all these blanks for me. And he does. This is your mom. This is your dad. He's a bit of a hard ass. We're pretty privileged. We often have people over at the house, and these are your friends, etc. But also, we live in the shed outside of the house, and we actually don't have a key to the house. We're not allowed in certain rooms of the house without permission. This is just how our family is. Act 2 then focuses on Marcus and the dilemma he faced throughout all this. Here I am telling my twin brother about our lives, how we grew up, how things are, and it's all a lie. I like the editing in this portion as we watch the wall start to crumble with the passing of their father and the passing of their mother. Alex had already felt a bit odd with some of the things Marcus would do or brush off, but it all boiled up to this moment when they would clean out their house after their mother's passing. And for example, finding a closet full of sex toys. Random, but ignore that. It's nothing. Then finding every birthday and Christmas present that has ever been given to them stacked up in the attic, unopened. They had never opened presents when they were kids. It appeared that their parents would receive the gifts for the twins and from other family members, friends, and stow them away, and just never give them any of it. Then, after shuffling through some of their mom's hidden furniture, Alex found a photo of him and Marcus when they were kids, I think around 10, and they were both naked in the photo, and their heads had been cut off in that photo, just leaving their exposed bodies. Kind of a weird fucking photo for mom to have. Marcus, thoughts? Their mom was a straight up, not like there's a fucking roundabout, but she abused Alex and Marcus for years until they were 14 years old. So obviously, Alex's world is shattered. He learns that everything is a lie. They never went on family vacations. Living in a damn shed isn't normal. Their father was a piece of shit and their mother was somehow worse. So why did Marcus lie? To protect Alex. Marcus is traumatized to hell and back. And now here's Alex, a blank slate, asking what life was like before the accident. What would you tell him? This is where my tiny complaint comes into play. The middle portion feels a little bit repetitive. We really drag on the same point and keep just reiterating it. Could have tightened that up very easily. I got taken out of it here because I just got annoyed, but that's it. We move on. So the final act is Alex and Marcus. Because Marcus just told Alex, yes, our mother abused us. And that was it. He gave no more information about how, when, any other details about their mom. Alex went digging for all that himself, and he just kept hitting a brick wall. It was driving him mad that his world was taken from him again by his own brother of all people. And he was desperate to at least finalize that reality of what she did. What did she do? It happened to me too. You have no right to play God and keep that from me. I suffered as well. Tell me what happened to me. But Marcus couldn't give that to him. He didn't want to talk about it. Marcus, to a certain extent, was protecting himself. If he had to tell everything to Alex, he would have to relive it himself and accept it as reality, even though he had been trying to wire himself to believe that it isn't. This entire time, while he was convincing Alex of this ideal life growing up, he attached himself to it. He wanted to believe it too. So they have a proper sit down, discuss their feelings, and even then, Marcus still can't tell him to his face. Keep in mind, for this sit down, They're 50 plus years old now. They have families. And even now, Alex needs Marcus to tell him for his own sanity. Marcus shows him a recording he did for the doc because that's the only way he feels comfortable doing it, and Alex watches. This part's tough to listen to, but this is what he said. Their mother would make the twins do stuff together. She would be involved as well, and she would also basically traffic her own children. She would drop them off individually at a friend's house, and then that person would violate the twin that was left alone overnight. And then their mom would pick them up in the morning, rinse and repeat. Apparently, the only reason she stopped was because Marcus broke away one time, escaped the house he was left in, and returned home. His mom was obviously shocked to see him that morning, and there was never any discussion about any of it. It just stopped. And we essentially end on that. You question yourself a lot through this doc. Would you have done the same thing Marcus did and withheld this terrible childhood from the person you will forever be most connected to, your twin? Was it also unfair of Marcus to then withhold the details for, what, 20 years? It may not jump out at you, but that really left Alex in the dark. He contemplated taking his own life after that, and he desperately craved that closure from Marcus. We do dive a bit into the mom's background, but I do wish we took a bit more time on her and dad. What type of life they were living exactly, what other secrets were withheld. Marcus doesn't even know if his dad knew about all this. I would be fucking shocked if he didn't. You guys were left overnight at other people's houses where I don't know if any of them like even had kids so you could lie about them staying with their friends or some shit. But then again, I don't even think the dad cared if they were gone. That man did not go to the hospital to visit Alex once. His own son, who almost died and whose life was flipped in the blink of an eye. Not once. It's gross. It's sad. It's disturbing to hear about this wealthy family in the UK who somehow knows this many other fucking... I hate it. Next doc. Okay, this is the one. If I had to recommend you a doc out of the four, it's this one. So fucked. So beautiful. Quick blurb, this is about Nasubi, a man who wanted to make it in the entertainment biz who eventually gets a big opportunity for an unusual gig that becomes rather harrowing. I think it's on Hulu if you care to watch it, but if you don't, let's talk about it and let's spoil. Japanese reality television. They were on it first. We stole their whole flow, but we damn sure did not steal this idea. There was a show called Denpa Shonen in 1998, and producer Toshio Tsuchiya had a rather crazy idea. And you'll hear this a lot, right? Some of the best ideas come from these fucking psycho creatives because the basic bitch boy in the writing room would never even fathom the thought. So someone like Toshio will make the thing that's captivating, generational, while we can look back on it and question the hell out of their morals. So by pure luck, Nasubi is selected to be a part of Toshio's new idea for a show, which he doesn't know what it is. And after he wins, they take him on the spot to an undisclosed location. Camera already in place, and then he tells Nasubi to strip. And Nasubi is aware of Toshio's notoriety, so he's not thinking he's about to get his cheeks clappuccinoed. But he is wondering, why do you want my cock out? Regardless, he obliges and is told the challenge. He is to stay in this bare bones room and earn everything he needs to survive by entering mail-in sweepstakes with the magazines and postcards that have been supplied to him. He is to continue entering and surviving until his winnings have totaled 1 million yen, which was about 8,000 USD back then. And before you think, oh, I've seen Mr. Beast videos like this. No, you have not. Here's all the fucked up stuff. Nasubi was told that most of this was not gonna air. Which was a lie. Toshio only told him that so he wouldn't overthink what he was doing on camera. Nasubi didn't sign any paperwork, no contract, nothing. And he never asked about anything like that because he was a fresh face in the industry. He didn't know any better. He barely knows what the hell he just signed up for. Also, when I use the word survive regarding the challenge, that is not hyperbolic. These guys are off their rockers. He had running water, but he did not have food. He had to win food. So for a while, the showrunners thought, well, I mean, we can't let him die because then we don't have a show. So, with all of their generosity, they would feed him a few crackers here and there just to keep him alive long enough to win some fucking food. By the way, I don't know how deep in the sweepstakes game you guys are, but after filling out 900 plus postcards, Nasubi won a total of dick all. It wasn't until day 17 that he won his first prize, which were cartons of fiber jelly. They didn't do much for his earnings, but they kept him breathing. And since he was blessed with his first edible prize, they stopped giving him crackers. So they're playing with this man's life, realistically. But not only that, they are exploiting, making a mockery, and profiting off of him without his knowledge. Everything is being recorded and edited in real time to premiere Sunday nights on Dempa Shonen, where the world will tune in to watch this silly man with a long face dance around naked and fight starvation and isolation. On day 28, Nasubi luckily wins his second prize, an 11-pound bag of rice. But of course, these jerk-offs couldn't even leave him a saucepan or utensils, so he tries leaving the rice in hot water overnight. That does nothing. Gross. He does have a gas ring, so he attempts to cook rice by putting some of it in the used fiber jelly carton just by the fire for a couple of hours. Don't know how it didn't incinerate, but what do you know? It's edible. He has rice. And listen to what Kagawa, the director, says about this so nonchalantly.
ご飯が当たらなかったら死んでしまいますから。だから企画は中止でしょうね。
Thank God the show isn't canceled. This is gonna ruin the tour. Few things. Nasubi is purposely being withheld from any interaction with the crew, or really anybody in general. He's not like decompressing with them after shooting for a bit. He's just in the room. He doesn't even know where the hell they went. They're next door, by the way. And obviously, since my boy is naked, they had to censor his meat. And no, the eggplant emoji hasn't surprisingly been in rotation for 26 years. Nasubi is the Japanese word for eggplant. He was given this nickname because of his long face, something he was bullied for as a child. But that's why they're using an eggplant. It's just a coincidence at this point. Nasubi has a diary he writes in, which is actually rather nice to get some of his thoughts out. Journaling's healthy and also lucrative. They published everything in his diaries and they became bestsellers in Japan, once again, without his knowledge. So, Nasubi eventually got better at winning over time, starting to pick up on trends, I guess. I don't know, winning's winning. It beats trying to eat dog food.
But... disgusting.
What is it, Peterson?
I'm not sure. I feel a disturbance.
He now has a lot of shit. And as if it couldn't get any more humiliating, Toshio read someone say on the internet that the show was basically fake. They'd film him writing and winning prizes, but he didn't actually stay in that room all day. So Toshio, instead of ignoring that random article or comment, I don't even know what it was, I'd rather not know, and just continuing to have one of the biggest shows in Japan, he decided to also live stream the room. No longer would Nasubi get the faux generosity of a cut down edit. Every second, minute, hour was now being streamed of that room. But Gigi, what about his meat? What about his meat? I'm just gonna pay a room full of goobers to navigate the Meat Blocker 9000 for 24 hours a day. That's how you spend the big bucks. God forbid Nasubi moves a little too quick to the left or just decides to beat off on camera. The little privacy he still had was now gone. Day 155, Toshio Tsuchiya wakes him up. But not because he has earned the 1 million yen, but because the location of the room was doxed by the media. So they moved him to another room, and the challenge continued. And they just lied to him as to why they did that. They're like, you'll have better luck here, jackasses. Day 205. He's visited by a doctor because he's openly complaining about feeling like shit and having these random symptoms. The doctor clears him, says he's in good health, and brushes him off when asked if it's healthy to continue doing this. You're young, the doctor says. That's all ignoring the fact that Nasubi had been starting to imagine shadow people outside of his room talking to each other, constant body aches, struggling to sleep, his hair falling out. But yeah, look at his funny faces, dude. He's all right. Now, you might wonder, how bad can we really feel for this guy? Can't he just leave? Yeah, he can. The door's open. He's not locked in. Not like me, I'm always locked the fuck in, you know what I mean? But he tells us, in the psychological state that he was in, he wanted to avoid causing trouble, like an attempted escape or something even more radical than that, which he thought of, by the way, a lot, but he said he didn't have the courage to do it. So he thought staying was just his safest option. Tsuchiya enters his room on the night of day 333 and starts letting loose party poppers on his face. And the poor guy is legit so out of it, he has zero clue what's happening. It's like he just found a caveman frozen or some shit. But this shitter just keeps blasting him off in his face because Nasubi finally hit his goal of 1 million yen. So it's over. And the crowd goes wild. But you notice, there's still half a dock left. And then you see them yet again put an eye mask on him as they take him to the airport and fly him to Korea to give him some Korean barbecue that he had spoken about wanting when the challenge was over. He's taken to an amusement park, has a great day. Toshio buys him a jar of kimchi, and then the eye mask comes off. And big surprise, he's in another room. and is told to strip. Tsuchiya is really proud of this moment. He's sitting there just fucking gassed about it, just jerking off a cinema. Look at that. I can't believe I did that. I'm so crazy. Because he's just fucking with him. Even more, he is propositioning another challenge. The Korean sweepstakes challenge. It's different now. New challenge alert. But he's not actually gonna do it, is he? He does. He does do it. In the show, it's rather glossed over, but in reality, Nasubi and Tsuchiya had a 3-hour conversation once that proposition was made. I had zero clue what Toshio could say to convince that man. Apparently, the magic words were, if you could hold on just a little bit longer, you could grow another level as a human. What? This man's mental is in shambles. You took advantage, you manipulated a man who wasn't all there when you spoke to him. So of course he accepted. The fucking Stockholm Syndrome, you monster. And it's not acknowledged. I don't know if it was mentioned in real life, but I wish Nasubi pieced together that wait. The challenge is over. So if you're asking me to do this again, that must mean you either A, fully believe now that this can be a successful product, or B, this is a successful product. You had leverage, Nasubi, but you're so poisoned by the fumes of your own stench that you couldn't work that out. What is in it for me? Are you paying me money? Am I getting royalties? Are you promising me spots on other shows? Talk to me, Toshio. What is in it for me besides leveling up as a human? What the hell does that mean? What does that mean? What is that gonna do for me? That means just as much as my endorsement level on Overwatch. You know what's crazy too? Nasubi is Japanese. To the racist in the audience, that generally means that he does not know Korean, but he is in Korea with Korean magazines, being forced to write postcards in Korean. This bastard learned Korean as he survived on a jar of kimchi and then started bodying the challenge because he's a pro at winning sweepstakes now. This time it was not 1 million yen. It was the price of an economy flight back to Japan, which was about 47,000 yen. And he absolutely smoked it. So much so that they decided to raise it to a first class ticket back to Japan without telling him that they did that, which is about 81,000 yen. And one day, after surpassing the goal, the new goal that they put in place, he starts murmuring to himself, like, I feel like I passed this, or I feel like I should have reached the goal already. And it feels like it was only then that Tsuchiya flew to Korea to tell him, let's go. He doesn't tell him he's won. He just puts an eye mask back on him again and goes back to Japan by boat to avoid attention. He didn't even get the first class flight back. Who did? Did fucking Toshio get one? Because then I'm mad. They had his eyes and ears covered and he takes off the mask to be in yet another room. Toshio leaves Nasubi there, and then Nasubi just begins to strip because this is just procedure at this point. Little does he know, he is in a makeshift room in front of a live audience, being broadcasted live on television. And that's when the walls fall down, the crowd goes crazy, and I'm surprised he didn't give him a heart attack right then and there. Nasubi is naked. Nasubi, you're naked. He's naked. And they stick mics in his face and tell him, you've completed the challenge for Korea, dude. And that's also when the host tells him that everything he has been doing for the last year and 3 months has been being broadcasted to the world. Everybody in this room knows who you are. Everybody watching at home knows who you are, and they've seen your ass. They've seen your ass. They took a year and 3 months of this man's life and revealed that all to the world without his consent. Sold 800,000 copies of his private diaries. And it pisses me off that they still let him strip in the fake box. They couldn't do him one single fucking favor. Let him still have a little bit of dignity. And even for the interview, nobody puts a blanket around him until the interview's over and he's walking off stage. That's when the guy comes to the back. Oh, let me cover you up. It's crazy that you're naked. Why? No one cares at that point. This is cruel. And I can't believe they showed his first words after the stage, which was, I was tricked, take it in. And of course, the cameras in his face continue. He gets to YouTube it and watch his own reaction. These motherfuckers were really ahead of their time. But I couldn't help but wonder, did he get any compensation from this? Because I don't think it's mentioned in the doc. I never heard it. I just kept thinking it. He got paid, right? Please tell me he got paid. There is no way in hell that this man isn't at least a healthy 100,000-aire after this, right? I found an AMA on Reddit of Nasubi. It was posted by Hulu official, and I just have to take their word that their answers were funneled through him. He had the sign. But he says, for compensation, I made 10 million yen for 1 year and 3 months, and that includes the money from the sale of my diaries from the show. Now remember, 1 million yen was about 8,000 USD then, meaning for everything he endured and all the books he sold without his permission, he made about $80,000, which is criminal. I'm looking at you, Toshio. I don't give a damn about inflation or how strong the yen used to be. The show averaged 17 million viewers every Sunday night, 800,000 copies sold. But most importantly, besides the analytics, you lied to this man. You took everything from him. 80 grand is nothing compared to what he is owed. Not even 100K, big dog. Some royalties, some shit, a gift basket. Did he even keep the rice? Nasubi tells us that he lost his faith in humanity. Genuinely, not in the stupid way people on the internet say. Genuinely lost his faith. He struggled to talk to people past that. He didn't know where to look when he was speaking to them. Like, look at clips of these stupid idiots barging into his dressing room and bringing a tape measure to his face because face long. Go away, lady. Anyways, we fast forward a bit, and an earthquake and tsunami hit Japan in 2011. And Nasubi slowly starts to find his purpose, visiting survivors back home. People are ecstatic to see him. Nasubi is a very popular figure back home. They're very thankful to have him visit them. He helps clean what he can, but he knows he can only do so much as one person cleaning. And he wants to do something for Fukushima. So he decides, I'm gonna climb Mount Everest, and I dedicate this climb to them. He wanted to inspire, he wanted connection. He had to do something extraordinary for his people, and he knew he was the one that had to do it. But even more unfortunately, while summiting, an earthquake then hit Nepal, and Nasubi had now found himself in the middle of an avalanche on Everest. 19 people died, and around 150 were injured. And right after the avalanche, Nasubi began rescuing other people as soon as possible. His guide spoke very highly of him and his demeanor and just how dedicated he was to doing this. He knew this was his destiny. So Nasubi had actually failed to climb Everest on 3 separate attempts. And it's crushing yet beautiful to watch him return home and have a little welcome crew waiting there for him. I didn't think this doc would hurt my heart, but man, I had the fucking wambulance on speed dial. It was getting hard, I'm not gonna lie to you. Tsuchiya actually reached out to Nasubi after all this, appeared on a show he had, I think, and Nasubi still holds a grudge, and Toshio could feel it. Toshio talks about what he would give Nasubi for everything he's done to him, so much that he says he would even consider dying if that's what Nasubi wanted. There's remorse there, thankfully, but still. Nasubi tells Tsuchiya if he could help with crowdfunding for his next expedition. And apparently Toshio busted his ass to do so, and it was funded. And with a flag of Fukushima that the locals signed, he heads back for a 4th attempt, and he reaches the top. And I'll let Nasubi deliver his message to you guys. It is a beautiful ending for Nasubi. What a fucking champ. It is beyond messed up what they did to him. The disturbing factor really creeps in with just blatantly taking advantage of a man while like his mother watches from home and can't do anything about it. He's shortchanged and traumatized by the end of it, but still found a way to come out on top. Literally. Next doc.
주목하세요. 이젠 학생 건강 지키기 싸움입니다. 아이피스로 체력 케어.
Stage name. He was said to be rather depressed, and not too long after, he would take his own life via a shotgun. I've just realized how... Well, that was depressing. I'd say the most depressing in this lineup. Whore's Glory focuses on prostitution in 3 specific areas. The Fish Tank in Bangkok, Thailand, the City of Joy in Faridpur, Bangladesh, and the Zone in Reynosa, Mexico. I'd assume this was going to be a behind-the-scenes look at sex work, right? So a lot of shots from a distance, maybe hidden camera, and a lot of testimonials. And it's somehow not that. We are up close and personal. And at first, I thought this had to be some sort of reenactment or paid actors to just show us the process, right? But we just see the transactions of the locals and those visiting front and center. So I'm 1, shocked they were able to get these areas cleared for footage by whoever has the authority to do so. And 2, that everyone else fell in line. Not only the sex workers, but also the clients. The Johns, or tricks as they're referred to. Because not one face is blurred. There had to be sketchy interactions between the cameraman and whoever that just did not make the cut. I would be shocked if the cameraman wasn't pressed once. Because there's no shot in hell that everyone was cool with the camera, right? But also, maybe. A lot of the guys take interviews, and they don't give a shit because they're not working around my customs here in the States. Not to say prostitution isn't prevalent here, but it's really only legal in some fucking desert in buttfuck Nevada. These guys are getting off work and thinking, yeah, I might stop at the brothel on the way home. I don't know, I got time. It's different. I think the order in which we are shown the areas is very important to how somebody will digest this. Starting with Bangkok, it seems to be the most organized of the group. It's a brothel with multiple employees. The women sit in a glass box as men ogle at them, drinking, eating until they make their pick. They call the woman up like a bingo number, the transaction is made, and off they go. Not to mention, aside from the necessity of work, this for the most part seems to be a choice that these women made. I mean, yeah, you can go into a deeper conversation of nature nurture, but on paper, this is the job they signed up for, right? One consistency through every area is some sort of religion tied into these women's lives. Like the women here in Bangkok pray before clocking in, praying for clients. Say what you will, but sitting here in a box for hours not being picked means not being paid. The women in Bangladesh will cleanse the rooms and hold boundaries for themselves, such as fellatio, because Allah did not create my mouth for that purpose. This mouth recites the surahs of the Quran. I refuse to do that. And in Mexico, we see women being cleansed along with prayers to Santa Muerte, the saint of death, which is one reason I believe Mexico fits so well as the final piece here. Bangkok shows some women who are trying to convince themselves that they should love this work because otherwise they're going to be miserable. It shows these young women talking about their boyfriends, and you can see them cheering each other on when one of them is chosen. Some stress as well because everybody wants to get paid, and we start to have the conversation of being phased out of this type of work because of age. New younger faces show up, and now you're not getting picked as much. Not to mention, a lot of these girls will then take their paycheck and spend it on bar boys, which is paying these men to hang out with you and seduce you at the bar, and then I don't know what happens past then. I've never heard of it. We got a small snippet of it. Then in Bangladesh, we take those ideas and we view them in some of their darkest forms. Welcome to the city of joy. This is just a complex with madams and their girls, and no, families are not excluded here. There are children present everywhere. Men walk through a couple levels of women just standing around or either trying to aggressively pursue them. They negotiate a price, and the deed is done. Moving from the casual conversation of boyfriends in Bangkok, we talk to a madam here who doesn't believe in relationships outside of money. If the woman is not making money, men will leave her. Even putting that on her own daughter. Growing up like this, she has minimal choice in what she can do. If she cannot get a man, she too will grow up to be a whore. Her wording, by the way. The cheering on for their fellow sex workers is lost here. This is the Wild West. You'll often see women being very persistent, dropping their prices drastically to just get a customer, or at the very least have them promise that they will visit them in the future. Because for the tricks, this is not a one-time deal. A lot of them come here often. And it's fucking scary for these women. You'll see the aggression come out of the men here, and Lord knows how that carries over when the door locks. You'll see multiple men grabbing these women by the arm and say, no, come over here with me. And it's that subtle aggression, but you just know that's the tip of the iceberg. And I hope with the comparisons here that I'm not belittling what the women of Bangkok go through, but there are clear differences here. This was very much done on purpose. The conversation of age comes up again, and we unfortunately see the grim opposites on that spectrum. An older woman speaks about how she used to have a plethora of clients, but how business has slowed down drastically because time does not stop. The landlord wants her to vacate a room due to her lack of clients and yells at her and humiliates her, but she has nowhere else to go. And the opposite of that is young girls. I don't remember if we're directly told an age in this chapter, but there is a testimonial from two rather young looking girls who speak like they've been a part of this life for quite some time. There are some standout quotes in this section, like one of the girls trying to get customers saying, "To hell with educated men. This is a whorehouse. Here, educated and uneducated men behave the same." The madam from earlier says, "The outside world pushes us out of the way to make room. Those people are our clients. Outside, they are disgusted by us. In here, they love us and our bodies." There's a barber who says the most wild shit. We're listening to local men and why they like the brothel, women they've fallen in love with there, and this guy's very much in favor of the brothel, goes once or twice a day, and he says this, and I'm not going to repeat it because it's fucking crazy.
এই ফরিদপুরে এই পাড়াটা যদি না থাকতো তাহলে মনে করলেন যে ফরিদপুরে যত ভদ্রমেয়েরা আছে রাস্তাঘাট দিয়ে চলতে পারতো না। সব পোলাপানে চিরা চিরা খায়া লাইতো।
The saddest part is a toss-up with the process of a madam buying a young girl who just seems like she's just trying to block out the world while simultaneously trying to survive. And then another young girl who seems afraid to say what she wants to say, but she does. And I think you should hear it.
আমি কি এর মধ্যে অন্য কিছু বলতে পারি? যেমন আমাদের জীবনটা, মেয়েদের জীবনটা অনেক কষ্টের। যেমন তারা খুব কষ্ট করে চলে, কিন্তু কেন এরকম কষ্টের জীবন আমাদের নিয়ে থাকতে হবে, বাঁচতে হবে? আমাদের কি আর কোনো পথ নাই? এমন কি পথ আছে? এই জবাব কার কাছে আছে? কার কাছে গেলে পাবো আমি?
In Mexico, there is the zone, which it looks like you pay to drive through as women stand outside these hotel rooms. So we've gone from a rather organized nighttime brothel to the Wild West, and I look at this final chapter as the send-off, the wastelands. Like this woman talking about the Santa Muerte who promises to have her die a good death. I don't think it's a coincidence that we hear this guy, one of the customers, drive around complaining that there aren't many women out today because it's so cold, complaining about all the potholes through the drive, and the multiple shots of damn near deserted bars with some women just revealing themselves to a crowd of nobody. And this last chapter, if I'm not mistaken, is actually the first where we see any type of nudity. We revisit the conversation of aging out of this with an extensive interview with a woman who's retired. According to her, hasn't turned a trick in years. She brags about her glory days where she would have 40 johns a day, and she doesn't leave any of her experiences to the imagination. She gets far too descriptive about what she used to do. But we also talk about how young girls are roped into this, where the pimps will visit villages and persuade young women with love, the promise of money, or threats of violence, even the possibility of black magic. Near the end of the doc, we shockingly not only see another transaction, but we see the actual deed being done. And I tried debating in my head how necessary this scene is. After so many doors have been closed in front of the camera, here we are. She refuses to give her name during sex and also calls the clock, telling him 20 minutes are up, and has him leave. I guess showing how much this is just nothing to her, even though we've obviously been able to draw that by now. And we end with that same woman being given crack by, I think, one of the landladies there, who in return has her eat her out. And the cameraman seems to be in that room for that deed, but that's cut out. So we fast forward, and afterwards that lady tells the audience, the day is Christmas Eve, and here they are. And the doc ends. This is hard to watch. I turned away from the screen multiple times during moments with clients or just after a hard-hitting line. I definitely think this is the most disturbing in the lineup, and it's just depressing as all hell. I don't know how I feel about recommending something like this. I suppose if it piqued your interest, you've been warned. I don't usually like ending on the darkest doc in this series, but here we are.
Crazy yesterday. He is a nightmare to play against. We'll see if FaZe have what it takes to bring him down. We're going to be right off to the races here with FaZe starting on the CT side, G2 on the T side, and already looks like execute towards the A bomb side, which
a very technical one, where we've got Molotov for default, we've got smokes for spawn and smokes for donut, flashbang for the cubby.
I like it.
That's being deployed right now, and in terms of defense, we've got poor old Robs lying in wait.
Yeah, already smoked off. He's trying to push in front of it. It's a massive risk in the middle here. Hunter, nice fight to be winning against Kerrigan. That puts a lot of pressure on the rest of the CT side here. With a smoke and a kit, I think there's always a chance you can win one of these, but without it, as is the case currently, I doubt it. I doubt they're going to be able to make their way through. They still have the Molotov on snacks. They never even used it, so that could be used to slow down things even further here. Yeah, the bomb is right there, but they're about 10 seconds away from actually winning the round, and they're not finding anyone on the
Three
D2
players in
side.
temple. They can just come out one by one.
Yeah. Well, this is going to be going down, but again, no one's defusing here, and it's just Brokey trying to fight at a full 360-degree angle. Max very nearly goes down. Carrigan's good for the one, but a decent follow-up with Hunter taking care of business. Rain looking for another headshot. He'll get it on the last possible bullet. Taking down Nico, was very distracted. Looked like he was hunting for somebody else who wasn't on the bomb side at all.
Rain's actually doing more damage here. Hunter's down to 13 points of health. Rain gets this kill, no problem. That's his third. The bomb will be planted. It's Modesty thrown into the clutch as Rain absolutely destroys the offense here. 4 kills in total with the Desert Eagle. It looked like it was a done deal. They were going through the motions, getting that mid-control, pintering into the B site, get the kills in towards the cave, but they didn't account for Rain. He was waiting towards long and was gifted a couple of kills where they are overlooking that position. And then a masterstroke with the Desert Eagle to close things out. Takes out the low HP Hunter and finds the planter
so
to enable 4 kills.
They have the smoke on the other side of the box from Rain. So what are they looking for? What are Hunter and Nico looking for when they get onto the side?
Be fucking Rain, bro. Hold in.
No, we don't have. We didn't have.
It almost looked like they were looking for someone at the pillar, but obviously we could tell there was nobody there. So I don't know if they got like the wrong call from somebody that said maybe they heard footsteps by the pillar and they thought that was it. I have no idea.
Well, that turns the game on its head. That wasn't part of the script here for G2. They'll make their way in towards the B side. They're going to snatch this round away themselves. Nice little ding through the smoke, but Carrigan goes one better. Finds a kill on Mouse. Gets himself a double. Excellent work here from Carrigan. Holds strong on the B bomb site. Got a 4-3 advantage, but a rifle has been picked up by Nico here. It's looking good for FaZe in this retake. It'll take something quite special from Nico to fend them off.
Well, delivering special things is his speciality, so I wouldn't rule it out. It's what he does for a living. Pushing through the smoke, he's going to go in for the spray on one. Instant double kill as he takes down Frozen and Rain, and the rest are smoked off on the other side here. A lot of damage. He's very low on health here, but this is becoming a little bit of a problem now for FaZe. That bomb is ticking so far away. Nico slips with the smoke. It's Snacks with a long-range shot at the Tech-9, and I don't think Rops can win this round. He's trying to escape now. It's done for. Snacks lands another one, and G2, they steal the round back.
All right, this is what we love to see in the early stages of this particular matchup. The war of attrition is going to begin. The force by wars. No one can get comfortable. No one can run their actual strats at this stage. Nice little B execution with the Tech-9s, and it will be Carrigan with the opening double kills. A 4-3 advantage until Nico, he drops that pixel-perfect smoke towards long. They have no choice but to run through it. Double kill picked up, and speaking of which, double kill for Snacks at range. 3 Deagles, Anders, and a nice amount of smokes and incendiaries to work with as well. Speaking of which, Carrigan's will be feeling the heat there. Nico trying to follow up with the spam as Rob's getting aggressive towards A main. Does considerable damage towards Mouths. Should be a kill for Monacy. Can't quite keep control of the garden hose there. Spray gets out of control, and it's the opening pick for FaZe.
Yeah, I think he started the spray just as Rain was strafing out from behind the pillar there. Snacks, though, take Carrigan. So that's at least the kill and return, and Rain did get dropped very low. Still an easy round here for FaZe to win, although Robs does pick up a good kill there. Makes it a bit interesting once again.
But he will be joined by Brokey with the rifle. Smokes deployed. No funny business here. He's got a contact behind them. Brokey needs to find at least one here. Going down with 0 will not do. Rain trying to pick up the pieces here, but that's the problem. He had no HP to really work with. He actually did well to find a kill here. They're going for the plant, and I think the swing can come through. Oh no. An absolute collapse here. G2 didn't expect the smoke to expire. They're not really covering the plant whatsoever. It's in the open, and it's in the open because they threw the incendiary down towards default, so you know there's a CT on site, essentially. You know he's in the area.
Well, this game was hailed to potentially be one of the best of the tournament, and it starts out like this, a back and forth. Nobody can really find solid ground. I mean, that's what you love to see.
Should be winning this one with the lack of firepower. As I say that, Monacy does find the first of the Desert Eagle, an opening advantage now, 5-on-4.
It's not a problem, don't worry. Oh, this double donut push could be very interesting because they're going to be rotating really fast.
No one's watching Rep. Oh, now they are. They come in from the back. So good timing. They're aware of it now.
I think that double donut position there is huge. Even if it opens up the A bomb site, should be possible for a retake. They're not going to be able to get that kill there. Snacks goes down. 4 versus 3. They have a kit on Frozen, but it looks like the bomb plant's going to be secured. So I guess with the deals, this round is still on for G2. They can win this. Next kill probably will decide almost everything here. Carrigan wanted to jump through. Malves, oh my god, back-to-back headshots. Now it's on.
Yeah.
Frozen and Rops left to try and see if they can retake this. They don't want to give it back. They haven't been able to secure anything. And again, FaZe on the CT side, it's really hurting their economy if they can't get this one. Frozen tries to go for it here. Lines up the one, makes it a quick double now. Nico's in the palace back here. Frozen low on health already with the kit in hand. He's going to try and defuse that bomb. Nico can't line up the headshot. Rops will survive on barely any health at all, but it will be FaZe to make their way through the round.
Damn. Excellent try there from G2. The Malbs Deagle on Ancient. Powerful